Okay. All right. Let me just move this over to the side here. All right. Digimon Survive. This review is gonna take longer than I want. Damn it. Here we go. So Digimon Survive. I just finished it last night, sometime around 1 a.m. I think. Um, Normally I let this stew, but to be honest with you, I'm about to start packing to be out of town. And I decided I'm gonna have that kind of be included into my vacation from video gaming for a while. To be honest with you, um, where to begin with Digimon Survive? Oh wait, I know where to begin. I want to begin with this. I am an ex addict and hardcore fanboy of the Digimon franchise, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not enjoyed myself as much as I'd like. Now, granted, there are some things that I did enjoy, but I'll get to those. Let's start off with just having kind of an us moment, okay, guys? Just like an honesty moment where we cut out the stupid shills and we definitely cut out the paid for hoes, and we be honest here. Digimon as a franchise has been dicking up for more than 20 years now. They have been failing across the board for more than 20 years now. Now, here's the thing: is this because of a lack of potential in the franchise? No. No. God, no. No. Why is it actually failing? The real reason it's failing is actually largely on Bandai, Toei, Tai Animation's end. It is a lack of effort. Every single time, every single game, over and over and over and over. And I'm sick of it. Honestly, it it's maddening how much they've been dicking this up. Honestly, the whole franchise has not been doing good. All right, let's just cut the crap. Let's be honest. There isn't even one Digimon game that is a 7 out of 10 game. Not even one after more than 20 years. And this game, shocker and spoiler alert, not an exception. Okay? Now, before I get into talking at length about what this game does wrong and doing the few things it does right, let's start with this fact. Objectively, as well as factually, Digimon games have been sucking for more than 20 years now. That's just a fact. We don't want to admit it. Fans like myself especially don't want to admit it. But that's the reality we live in. Because of a lacking effort and an excessive and actually self harming degree of experimentation that is blind and pointless, mind you, and benefits no game that they make, in reality, the franchise is nowhere near as good as it should, could, might, or has needed to be. All right. The facts are is this franchise doesn't have a lack of potential. Okay, not any more of a lack of potential than Devil May Cry or Elder Scrolls or Fallout or whatever have you. Pick whatever big AAA well-known game you can think of. I don't care. All right, it doesn't matter which. When it comes to potential, Digimon has just as much as its competitors. The real problem is the idiots who are in charge. Those are where our real problem here is. It's those morons. Because they think blind experimentation that doesn't actually have any connecting dots or any beneficial reason for it is the best way to go. No, just no, it hasn't been helping you guys at all. In fact, if anything, it's been an actual giant thorn in your friggin' Achilles heel. If not a gunshot wound, in your Achilles heel. Okay? It's that level of useless and hasn't been helping you guys. Alright? If anything, it has actually pushed away those who should be the first ones on your side and friggin' loving your games. I wonder who. Oh yeah, guys like me. When it comes down to it, though, Digimon Survive isn't anything different when it comes to that regard. It's kind of the same in too many ways. Digimon Survive, right off the bat, what I have to emphasize here is that the whole franchise is struggling, is stagnant, been struggling, been stagnant, hasn't changed in that regard at all. And Digimon Survive doesn't change that fact. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't alter anything. It's still the same problems that we have to acknowledge every single time. And the problem we have to start off with before we even get into the big problems that are unique to Digimon Survive is we have to say it exactly what needs to be said here. Digimon Survive suffers from, like every other Digimon game, a lack of effort, a lack of ambition, a lack of drive, a lack of willing to make the game good. All right? And it also lacks support from Bandai as well when it comes to finances. They don't put much money into these games, really. Compared to what should be in these games, and then considering the return they would get from it, you'd think they'd realize that they'd be making more money if they put more effort, more support, and more love into their own game. You know, do the opposite of what the idiots and rejects have been doing. But no, apparently not. They couldn't be bothered to do that. The smart option, the wise option, the option that actually leads to a worth a while and acceptable greed. But no, here we are with stupid greed. The greed who is stupid. Great. Digimon Survive. I think the next thing we got to get into these big issues. And the first one I have to start off with is the dialogue options. Now here's the thing. The dialogue options suck. They just do, objectively. I don't care how much of a blind moron you are. They kind of suck. They all basically either boil down to the same thing or boil down to just, do I get affinity or not? It's one of these two things. It's either the same crap because Takuma decides to go rogue and basically undermine everything you just clicked on. Or he'll say something that has no relation to what you clicked on. Which is frustrating and creates this disconnect when there's already a growing disconnect because of the other dialogue options that came before it. By the end of the game, I didn't feel like Takuma is me. I feel like Takuma is just some schmuck who I'm guiding through his life. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm guiding some schmuck go through his life. But the problem is, though, is I'm not really guiding him through his life because he's still taking the reins randomly. Which then begs the question of what's the point in these options? What was the point in giving me a dialogue option if literally within the next microsecond you were going to undermine it or circumvent it or just have everything play out the way it was scripted to play out? Don't worry, we'll get to that sentence again later. Don't you worry. When it comes down to it, it's frustrating and it's annoying and it just makes me question what was the damn point? Why not just have it continue on in the form of a cutscene then, instead of interrupting the flow of it all by adding this thing that wasn't clearly needed and had no purpose, was no meaning, and was completely irrelevant. And yes, large, mass, ungodly quantities of the dialogue options are exactly that. Irrelevant and meaningless and pointless and a waste of everything. Okay? It was a waste. That's a fact. I don't care how much you want to say otherwise. When I have my karma answer, my moral answer, and my harmony answer, and they all basically wind up being the same damn outcome with the same freaking result, there's no point in giving me these dialogue options then. There's no point. Don't bother. In fact, what you should have done was scrapped the dialogue option thing as a whole and either put more effort into your combat and story writing or just give me a different mechanic. Or if you really are so hard on this mechanic, you got such a hard on for this mechanic, then here's what you could have done. Make it so it's actually effing meaningful. Make it so it actually matters, changes things, is worth a damn. You didn't. So you have to do something else with it. So there's dialogue options, which is, to me, honestly, probably one of the biggest issues. Then we have combat. I left this game on hard mode and I was bored to tears. Honestly, it was more fun just putting the game on auto battle and walking the F away to do something else. That was more fun. And that persisted for so long. For so very long, I had zero fun in its combat. In fact, it wasn't until literally, I think it was like the second to last boss during the Wrathful end game. That's when I finally had fun. The second to last boss fight of the whole game. To be honest with you, it sucked. They needed another difficulty mode. They needed something that was actually difficult, actually hard, and not toddler is bored shitless easy. Okay? That's borderline hard mode. It just boils down to too damn easy. Their hard mode is easy. That's pathetic. They needed another difficulty mode past that called Digi Death or freaking Digi Eradication or just something. I don't care what name you give it. I don't give an F if you decide, you know what? Let's both make fun of the old Digimon, but let's also kind of name it after something like that. You know, you have Digidestin, you have Digimon, there's what's the stupid there's tons of shit, okay? There's tons of shit that has Digi in it when it comes to the franchise. And you couldn't even like try and make like a little spoof slash harder difficulty that has that in its name. You couldn't even be bothered to do that at least. Because honest to God, if you're someone who's played, you know, not you've beaten, not you are a master, not you play on the hardest. No, I'm talking about if you just have played Fire Emblem. This game is too easy for you. You are bored shitless. You are begging to God that someone finally just does you a favor and rips you away from the game to go do something else. Like a certain someone who's played Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Fates, and Awakening, and wishes to God he would have been playing either those games or anything else. Hell, if I'm really so hard on for Digimon, at this rate, I think I'll just try and see if I can force my old ass Digimon World 3 disc to reboot itself, to start up. I'd rather do that, because that's more worth my time. That's more worth my effort. That's more functional than actually playing the turd that is Survive. And yes, I call it a turd, because honestly, we've only hit two problems. Two of its major problems, I should say. Because now we're on its third. Ready? Here we go. Too bad. Oh god. Digimon, when it comes down to it, its next biggest problem is kind of a mixed bag. It has two things working in tandem that make it just worse or still. First things first. Why in God's name are there only 8 wild rookie Digimon outside of the 8 Digimon that you have as a partner? You heard me right. When it comes down to it, here are the list of the partner Digimon that I'm not going to mention all of them. It's just when it comes down to it, out of the 8 partner Digimon options, you have to chop that down a little bit more because technically out of those 8 options, only 4 of them are new. The other 4 are the same Digimon we've seen in every Digimon game since inception and are also freaking from the show. You got Patamon, Palmon, Tentomon, Gomamon. Oh yeah, and Biomon. I hate to break it to you, but no, really, that's it. There are 3 non from TV show made partner Digimon who are. It's stupid. Let's cut the crap. It's stupid how anemic this whole thing is, especially when you consider they also even locked off another rookie to those who either pre-ordered or got the game within the first month. Now maybe they've added it in a DLC format. To be honest with you, I don't care. I don't. I don't give an F about that at all. What I care about is that your overall Digimon roster, when it comes to rookies, is anemic. Where's Solarmon? Where's Hagurumon? Where's Gaburimon? Where's Dimidevamon? Where's Dimameramon? Where's the freaking color change of Palmon? Where's freaking... Why is there such a low roster here? The fuck? You have as many Digimon as Pokemon, if not even more than freaking that, if you count it. Uh-huh. Okay, how about here's another rookie you could have added. Where's Dokunimon? Yeah, he is kind of a color swap of Kunimon, but still, we're gonna bring it up. Where's that one? Where's Black Agumon? Black Gabumon? Uh-huh. Where are they? Where's Terriermon? Hmm? Where's Wormmon? I can keep going. Where's Impmon? Hmm? Where's Impmon? Huh? If I wanted to, I could still keep going. Alright? There are only 8 rookie wild Digimon. Only 8 of them. I even counted it to make sure I wasn't losing my damn mind. There's only 8 rookie Digimon? Really? Look, it sucks for me that my favorite Digimon isn't in the game. Sure, whatever. I more care that the game is actually anemic when it comes to its rookie Digimon. You have you have an okay number of champs, alts, megas, but you seriously only have 8 rookies? Really? What? Why? Why would you have such a small, tiny roster of them? That makes no sense to me at all. There's that. Okay, now we have to get into the next bit that ties into this a little bit. All right, and I'm not going to talk about how it seems like they're always a better. I hate that line. That line pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you. Okay, so when it comes down to it, I hate the fact that this game, what partner you have, is decided for you. I don't like this. I don't like this in any Digimon game, to be honest with you, especially if you're going to go for the idea of this is me, this character's supposed to be me. If that's your whole goal, forcing something onto me is not a good idea. Is that necessarily a big issue? No, because there are tons of people who are going to think, oh, but King, at least it's Agumon. And I'm just like, sure, it's Agumon. But to me, forcing a player to run with a specified Digimon defeats the whole damn purpose of everything that Digimon is founded around. Alright? It is a waste of its limitless potential. Okay? Just cut the crap. It is. Now, when it comes down to it, okay, and to me, this is something I feel like needs to be done. I'm gonna switch over to a good thing, just so we can kind of get some good, bad, whatever. Uh, the good thing I want to start off with might not seem like a big deal to some, but there are moments where a certain story moment really wouldn't have impacted me quite the same if it wasn't for this, and that is music. There are plenty of times where music helped to take a sad scene that I was kind of expecting and help kind of, ease me into that. I'm good. I'm good. I want you to talk about. I'm good. I'm good. It helps you get into that right mindset of like now you're starting to feel sad. But now we gotta go to another bad thing. Here's another bad thing, okay? The bad thing here is that the game is so mind numbingly anger and frustration inducing levels of scripted. Alright? It is. Just cut the crap. It is scripted to death. It is on rails the whole time. And it does not deviate from those rails at all. It is actually this game's biggest problem. It is the part of the game that just destroys what good is here and makes it borderline insufferable. It's so unnecessarily restrictive to a point of just anger inducement. All right. At first, I had 12 hours put into this game right from the jump, and I pretty much had to delete it right off the bat. Why? Because I found out that apparently affinity doesn't affect whether or not a character survives at all. Alright? Do you know what affects whether or not Rio or Shuji lives? Playthroughs. And that is it. Until you have done the required number of playthroughs, you will never be able to save Shuji or Rio, ever. And in certain other story arcs, you won't be able to save other characters either. It will be 100% predetermined, pre-described, pre-planned, preordained, finalized and set and locked in before you can even so much as click a button. No, it's already done. It's already decided how that will go. Already. Okay? When it comes down to it, and this frustrates me to no end, the when you actually go to look into the help menu and you look into these things, it's even the game itself is trying to tell you a bullshit lie that you can save them with affinity. Liar. You are a fucking liar. And a shitty one at that, because I busted your ass in the process of playing it. I even tested it and found out you were double lying. No. Affinity and discussions never affect, really, who survives until a specific number of playthroughs later. Okay? Until you're on your second playthrough, Rio will always die. Always. Unavoidably, irrefutably, and set in stone. He will always die on your first playthrough, no matter how high your affinity. On my first initial 12 hours, I got his affinity up to 56. Alright? That didn't save his ass. I tested the dialogue options to see if maybe that was the issue. Nope. That doesn't save his ass either. He still dies. Which pisses me off. It defeats the entire bullshit marketing you've done, and it also defeats the entire game's help menu entirely. What Affinity really does, until you've gotten multiple playthroughs in, until you've done that, here's what Affinity actually affects. It affects what Digimon are going to, if Digimon that aren't Agumon are going to get their Megas or not. Alright? That's one thing it does. The other thing it does is it affects this whole teamwork, this backup mechanic, which they can dish out an extra hit, buff your damage, or restore your health and SP at the end of a turn. Now here's the thing. This is really all it actually does. In all honesty, that's all it really does. There is one other thing, but to be honest with you, I never had it happen. It never procced. Never saw it working. So, might exist. Didn't when I was playing through it. Alright? It didn't happen ever once. What it actually is, I don't even remember, but I remember reading a little help blurb that happens as it loads, and it listed something that was completely different that it does. The thing is, though, after I read it, I'm like, I've never seen that happen. I've never had that happen. I've never seen that proc. Never felt it proc. Never had it proc. So does that actually exist, or is that just bullshit, too? Is that also a lie? And that was my reaction. Literally. Wow. So yeah, my advice is stick through this video even after the score, because I'm going to give some people who are only just now playing through this game for the first time ever, I'm going to give y'all some helpful advice that I wish I could have gotten, okay? That I really wish I could have gotten. Now, granted, I can only give it to you for the moral and the wrathful. I can't really say about Harmony at all because I haven't experienced that one. And I don't want to tout what was possibly a spoiler. Anyways, I don't know yet if it is or not, so I'm not even going to bother. Yeah. We've gotten that over with. We've gotten combat. We've done dialogue options. We got the fact that the freaking it's anemic as all hell. We brought up how freaking scripted the whole damn thing is to an ungodly, borderline tedious degree. Let's talk. What should we talk about next? Oh yeah, I have a great idea. Let's talk about this equipment thing. And here's the thing: the equipment thing is actually a mixed bag because I actually like the concept of it. But the problem is it takes an already too easy game and just kind of makes it easier. So now I have buffed up stats. Now I'm smacking these guys for even more damage. Now I'm tanking even better damage. So, okay. When does the game get interesting again? Oh yeah, not until endgame. Apparently passed me up. While consumed by disappointment and, mind you, probably also because he didn't actually do the final step that goes into these videos, which is the kind of the letting it all sit and fester part. He forgot to bring up how it's not even just myself. It's not just him. It's not just me. It's not just us that feels this way. In reality, there's also a buddy of mine, Ikalipa. Even he feels this exact same problem of this. The script is restrictive as all hell. It's so on rails, and how the dialogue really isn't that great. Granted, whether or not Ikalipa has finished it by now, I don't know. Uh, and before Ikila is like, wait, how are you already done? I could crack a joke at you, my boy, about how it's because of Fire Emblem. I'm not. The real reason is just because I'm not doing it 100%ed because I can't be bothered to 100% this game, is all it really is. I can't be bothered to go and capture every single Digimon personally. I just can't do it. I can't convince myself to do it. If the gameplay had been better, maybe I could have, but I just can't with this. Um, so yeah, that's the real reason I possibly finished before you, my boy. That's all it is. Yeah, definitely go check out Eclipus channel, which if I'm remembering the writing of it in the actual description, I hope I did, or I'm gonna be giving myself crap for a decade. Go check out Worst Company Live, which is on YouTube. They do a lot of D&D stuff. There's also Twitch, which I don't remember if this was the name or if it just uses Worst Company Live again. But over on Twitch, there's also they do a Ruby Tuesday or Ruby something. Go check those things out. Totally worth it. Totally fun. Good dude. About as bonkers and backcrap as I am, so don't worry. There'll be a ton of energy within it. So there's that at least. Go check him out sometime. Hell, just if you want, even go say, hey, yo, the fool sent us. Mazel tov or condolences, depending on your view. uh, so yeah. Back to you, past me, wrap this up. Alright, my boy.
He's dead. Oh my god. What the crap?
Okay. Thank you, past me. Next time, just send a letter or some shit. Damn, man. Now, speaking of endgame, let's talk about something that's a really good thing. Something that's actually the best part of this whole experience. And the only rewarding part, really, of this whole experience. Endgame. Shocking, I know. When it comes down to it, the three different endings, where it's moral, harmony, so on, I want to talk about what is the best thing about them. They're radically different. I watched a playthrough going through the moral ending, and also at the same time, I just experienced the wrathful ending. And to be honest with you, they were so radically different that it was kind of cool. No, really, it was actually pretty cool. I liked it. It was pretty neat. But the fact that it takes that long for you to get to something that's actually rewarding, cool, interesting, unique, something intriguing, by the time you get to that point, it's ridiculous. Then the game's over after that, which sucks. I wish this whole decision of choosing a child, I wish this came earlier, to be honest with you. I do. I wish this had came at least 2, 3, hell, maybe even 4 chapters earlier, and all the events from there were different there. That would have been far cooler. But no. It it takes till, I think, chapter freaking 10 or 11 for this branching thing to come into play. Now, with how scripted this game is, I honestly expected it to cause some kind of a limitation or some kind of stupid restriction as as I go to make the choice. No, it's just based off of what your overall karma was, which I can be okay with that because it's at least something different, which I kind of do. There's also a fourth option, which I'm kind of intrigued by. Whether or not I play this game again, to be honest with you, is 100% going to be decided by you people. Whether or not I play this game again. Now, the reason I'm so willing to entertain this idea is actually very simple. It is solely because of the fact that each ending is so radically different. So I'm willing to do it for that reason. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be gone for a week. I'm not going to be playing video games. There's not going to be a video for an entire week. Here's the thing. When it comes down to it, what I would like from you people is to kind of, I'm going to want y'all to spend at least a week, at minimum. I want y'all to kind of ask yourselves, do we want to see the ex hardcore Digimon nutcase force himself through and play Harmony? I would like all of y'all to kind of consider that. To kind of, do we want to watch him do this? Do we want to watch him force himself through this? And if you guys think that would be interesting to watch the fool torture himself, uh, then please do, write down in the comments saying, "Yo, King, survive." Just put survive, put in evil smile face, whatever. Make it, say it the way you want to say it, but just kind of give me a heads up if y'all are interested in that. Because if when I get back and it's Thursday and I don't see much of a remark on Digimon Survive, more than if I only see that one remark, I'm sorry, Smab, but if I don't see more than just one, I'm probably not going to do it then. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't need everybody on here necessarily, but if I can at least get like 10 people, let's say, if 10 people say that they want to see it, then I'll do it. I'll live stream Digimon Survive as I'm doing the Harmony. Uh, for those of you who are curious, yes, I have 1%. I've skipped the tutorial shiz, and that's about mostly it. So I haven't done much, clearly. But yeah, I'm going to go off, like I said, Thursday. If I see that there are 10 comments that say Digimon Survive, though, I will literally live stream it right then and there. I will make that my thing I do. Starting Friday, I will literally live stream it. All right? But like I said, there has to be at least 10. At least 10. They don't have to say it in tons of words. Hell, they could just say survive question mark and that'll let me know that it's people interested, okay? But like I said, if I only see one or two, I'm just not going to do it then. In order for me to actually consider it, and I need it to know that it's entertaining to you people. I need to know that you people will laugh at seeing the nutcase lose his shit. I need to know y'all would find that funny. Because if y'all don't find that funny, me losing my mind, we have some questioning to do here. Okay? When it comes down to it, Digimon Survive, I think the only score I'll ever be able to give it, the only score I can give it with how combat is boring, dialogue sucks, opening, the early parts of the story suck until the ending, and then it finally gets interesting. The fact that I don't really feel challenged in the slightest bit. I feel bored if I take hold of it myself. My overall rating for this game, at the end of it all, for Digimon Survive, 4 out of 10. I'm not happy saying that, but basically, when it comes down to it, this game is about as disappointing and not as good. Okay, it's kind of just, it's the modern equivalent of Digimon World 4. It is kind of a disappointment. It's not all that great. It's kind of meh when it works, but it doesn't always work, being the problem. Now, here's the thing. For a Digimon Survive sequel, in order to make that sequel and to make it so it's actually something worth a damn, we have to basically gut all characters from this game. Honestly, we have to do a whole new group of characters. There's no point in trying to redo these characters. There really isn't. There's no point. We have to find the dude who was in charge of the dialogue system and fire his ass, or slap him with a huge pay deduction until he gets his shit together. We have to find the story guys, and we have to split the two groups together between these are guys who are working on Endgame, these are the guys who worked on everything else. The guys who worked on Endgame, those guys, you give a pat on the back and say you did good. The other dudes, you either fire or pay deduction. The music and art team, those guys, you give them a hug. Because those guys did the best out of everyone in the entire project. Out of the whole project, those two dudes kicked ass. Those two dudes, you give them a pay raise, pat on their backs, and if they want, a freaking vacation. Okay? Now, let's talk about the big thing. The really big thing. You find the combat dudes. You tell them you're fired. But you're not just fired. We have this cannon called unemployment. We're going to shoot you out of it. Have fun with that. Boom! That's how bad they effed up. Honestly. If they want to do a Digimon Survive 2, it's not enough that they have to fix up combat. Make it actually worth an F. Make it so it's entertaining. Make sure it's interesting. Make sure it's fun. They have to fix up the dialogue options if they're even going to bring those back. I almost wish you wouldn't, to be honest with you. I wish you would find either some completely separate thing, or that if you do bring them back, that you bring them back hard. You make them worth an F. You make it so they actually affect things. Take this restrictive experience and make it so it's no longer on rails. Take it off the damn rails and de-restrict everything, okay? It should never be so restrictive to a point where things are set in stone before the game even finishes the freaking opening loading, okay? No. No. Make it so the Digimon roster is less anemic, especially on the rookie end, alright? Don't force us to have this as our partner Digimon, alright? It makes no damn sense. You know what would have made sense if you had taken inspiration from Digimon World 2's opening, where your choice is between these three different factions. Which faction you choose changes your partner Digimon. Well, having this whole harmony, wrath, moral shit, having it so it's instead altered early on and has importance early on, like for example, changing what partner Digimon you have, that's a huge benefit right then and there. That's something that's a huge positive. For example, take some inspiration from, like I said, Digimon World 2, where you had three options for a partner Digimon depending on the faction. What we can do here is, depending on which of the moralities we choose, changes whether or not we get Agumon for moral, Patamon for, say, that of harmony, and then let's say Dimmadevamon for wrathful. Hell, that would be a huge thing for me, and you'd, hell, on a biased viewpoint, you would actually almost gain an extra point with me because, like I said, my favorite Digimon wasn't able to be in this. My favorite Digimon is Dimmadevamon. Alright? If I had a gun to my head and say which Digimon partner would I choose, you don't even have to finish the damn question or get the gun fully to my head. I'd say Dimmadevamon. Give me. Give me. Give me. Give me Dimmadevamon. Yes. Give me. Give me. My partner. Yes. Alright? That's just me, though, like I said. And I prefer this mentality of these moralities being something equivalent to the factions, where it would change the partner we had. I'd vastly prefer that over what we actually have here. What we actually have here is a pretty limited, restrictive game. Hence the 4. It's so restrictive that it's hard to actually have fun in the game. In order to actually have fun, I had to ignore the game and make the fun myself. So therefore, the game itself didn't do a good enough job at the fun bit. The whole bit that's life or death for a video game. Duh. Okay. Gotten that out of the way. Let's get into the important info that's going to help a player who's going through this game their first time. I can help you with the moral and the wrathful. I can't help you with harmony. I haven't experienced it yet. Okay, so I can't help you there. So for moral, there are a batch of characters. There are only 2 characters you just ignore until your next playthrough, right? Just ignore them. They don't exist. That is Ryo and Shuji, okay? Those 2 don't exist in your moral playthrough, okay? They never exist, okay? Now, Wrathful. Here are the only characters you should acknowledge their existence of and talk to at all. Minoru, Kaito, Miyu. Ignore everybody else. They don't exist. Why? You're probably asking why. I ain't gonna tell you, fool. I ain't gonna tell you. Because there's already not enough of a reason for you to play this game anew. So let's at least leave you the one thing that will be worthwhile, that will be rewarding enough for you to justify going back in a second time. All right. Now, I rented this game. I didn't pay money for it. I do feel like as a rental, it's meh. It's not great still. It's still not capable of a 5 or anything above that. No. It's still a 4 out of 10 experience. Below average. All right. Which sucks because honestly, there is still tons of potential here. But once again, a lack of effort, too much experimenting blindly, and not doing any damn research to ensure you avoid the pitfalls that other games have made, we still wind up with a 4 out of 10. That's literally, there's no better score for it. Below average. If I didn't make the fun for myself, I would actually give the score a lower one. So if you're not someone who's actively making fun of the game or trying to be funny, well, congratulations, you have a 3 out of 10 game then. You have a you have a not very good game then. Great. Swell. Like I said, I'm going to be out of town for a whole week. So like I said, you guys have you have technically 6 days, all right, to try and get at least 10 comments on this video that say either survive question mark or just survive. As long as the word survive is in there, I'm going to take that as you are interested. You want a live stream of this. You want to see the fool put himself through this. Again. So, good luck with that. I don't normally ask about this, but I'm going to ask this as well anyways, just because why not, I guess? If you found this video interesting, it'd be cool if you hit the like button. That feels really weird. I don't know why. Asking for the like button feels weird. Um Oh great. Okay. I will see you guys in a week. See ya.